Hi, y'all. This is Allie Pickles for Lunch Ross, and I am back with Mix Alycorn's Daily Tarot. I'm not typically going to update on weekends, but I am late with my video for Friday, October 25th, 2019. So I'm going to tell you about the reading that I got that day today, Sunday. And we'll be back on schedule tomorrow. The reason, to be quite honest, that it took me this long to make a video about Friday's reading is that I didn't want it. I really, really didn't want it. I resisted it hard, and I have had some time to make sense of it now, but this one was tough. So, as usual, we've got a situation, obstacle, advice spread. The situation that I pulled on Friday was the King of Wands. The obstacle that I pulled was the Four of Cups. And finally, the advice was the Devil, which you'd think would be the part that was rough. But in fact, the hardest part for me was the King of Wands. The King of Wands card is a big leadership energy card. It suggests that you're being called to a leadership position. I do not like leading things very much, unless we're talking about my own creative process in a way that affects everyone else as little as possible. So, didn't love that idea that I was being called to leadership. In really any way, I feel particularly unfit for leadership at this moment in time. I'm like just figuring out how to get out of bed and get things done on a day-to-day basis. It seems weird for the universe to tell me that I should be leading anything. So I'm thinking about this. I can feel myself getting resistant to it. I think maybe my obstacle card will help shed some light on this. Turns out, Four of Cups signifies that a great thing is being offered to you, probably a lot of great things, and you have your head so far up your own ass that you're not accepting them. The images here are of someone being offered four cups. The one that's in this person's hand is just kind of dribbling away as they clutch their head and don't accept the gifts of these cups. It looks like they probably did the same thing with the other three cups around them. They're not accepting the great things staring them right in the face because they are in a bad attitude place. So at this point, I'm like, thanks. So I'm being called to leadership, and the only thing standing in my way is that I am not grateful for that opportunity. Thanks. And I couldn't make sense of it at first. But the advice card that I pulled, the Devil, did eventually help me to make my way towards making peace with the idea that I can and need to lead, and my sense that I can't and don't want to is the only thing standing in my way. So the Devil is I ended up doing some research on the Devil card because it's real juicy and interesting, and I'm not going to be able to get into everything here and now, but the interpretation of the devil card that I like the best is that it suggests you are under the influence of some lie. And that can take a lot of different forms. I really love what Amanda Gates Garcia and Sarah Faith Gottesdien have to say about this on their incredible tarot podcast, Strange Magic, where they go through the deck card by card and unpack each of the cards. And their take on the devil card, they have a lot of takes on the devil card, actually. They talk a lot about wanting to teach a masterclass on it, which, for the record, Sarah, Amanda, if you're listening, would take that class. But they said something I really liked. I believed they were quoting another scholar, which is that the devil is the divine as misinterpreted by human error. So they give a lot of examples from pop culture, and one of my favorites is they talk about Agent Smith in The Matrix. Agent Smith is the devil character in The Matrix because not only is he the antagonist, but he relies on lies to try to get Neo to give up on his hero's quest and allow humanity to remain enslaved. His argument that humans are really a virus, that it's better for everyone if they continue to be enslaved, that's something that a devil character, like, that's a very devil character move, to try to convince you that everything would be better if you stopped trying to make things better. And what ended up happening the day that I pulled this spread was, without really realizing it, I'd been thinking about an ex who assaulted me. And I pulled this spread in the morning, and then in the afternoon had just a big flashback, panicky event about that person and that attack. And, you know, the more that I think about it, the more that I think that the way that the devil is appearing to me at this moment is in the form of this abuser and the effect that they still have on my brain. Abusers really love to present, right, this version of something that you believe and something that seems really good to you, that when you take a closer look is twisted and, for lack of a better word, evil. And a lot of the lies this person told me that I still grapple with have to do with my inadequacy and my inability to do anything right, let alone be a leader. So Amanda and Sarah also point out in Strange Magic that when Neo encounters Agent Smith, it's because he's chosen to take the pill that will enable him to see the truth. And it would be easier if he just didn't bother to stay in Wonderland and to see how far the rabbit hole of lies went. It's hard to confront the truth a lot of the time, even if it's a good truth. And I think I'm being called to remember what my devil did to me, even though I don't like thinking about it, and to recognize that a big part of what he did to me was convince me way more successfully than I want to admit that I couldn't lead or do anything for myself. And I think that devilish thought is where my obstacle, my Four of Cups impulse to resist the call to leadership is coming from. And it would appear that it is time for me to face that devil now that I'm away from him and safe from him, and to untangle some of those lies and recognize that I'm probably capable of more than I think I am, and find out what good I can do with that. Thank you to any of you who watched and listened to this one. This was hard, but that's why I had to do it anyway. I love every single one of you. Don't listen to the fucking devil.